It was at this point in Game 5 that I thought our season was over. We were down by as many as 17 points halfway through the third quarter, and with 4 of our 6 best players injured and 3 of them out, I figured there was no chance of a comeback. And then this happened. Corner with 15 to go. Open look for 3. Will not take it. Passes it out to Springer. Drives on the right side. Springer up for the layup. It's good with a foul! And one for Jabari Springer. By the grace of God, we came all the way back as Jabari Springer would make the 3 throw, and it would come down to the defense needing one more stop. Nobody's moving for the Spurs. What are they doing? Luka with 2. He's going to have to shoot it for the win. It's no good. And the Cardiac Kids live to see another day. How is it possible that the Spurs had the greatest coach in the history of the NBA, yet they drew up maybe the worst final play I have ever seen? You have Victor Wembanyama, who's 5 to 6 inches taller than everybody on the floor, and was shooting 80% for the game before that possession, yet you give it to Luka, who's working with one ankle in isolation to throw up a 30-foot contested 3. I don't get it. And somehow our battered and bruised team without Antoine Salis, Evan Mobley, and Jonathan Kuminga for the second half was able to win this game. Now, of course, it's going to be a challenge because we're still going to be without those guys in Game 6. We needed to rely on our only healthy players. Kajai Stokes played all of the game except for 4 seconds, finished with 31 points, took charge of the offense, while Jabari Springer only sat for around 2 minutes in the second quarter. He had 31 and 22 on 70% shooting. These are the only 2 members of our core 6 who were healthy, so we fully had to lean on them, and they delivered. Roman Loggins-Burrell, nursing a sore knee, was able to adapt his game. He lost some burst in his ability to go to the basket, but he ended up making 4 threes after not really shooting the 3 ball that well throughout the postseason. Jonathan Kuminga, meanwhile, was a non-factor. If anything, he was a liability when he was on the floor, but I give him credit for toughing it out. The problem is he strained his other hip, and his athleticism is completely shot. I think the way I described it in the last episode is if you have Kuminga and a snail running the 40-yard dash side by side with each other, Kuminga would be faster, but the snail would finish the race first because Kuminga is not going to be able to run the 40 yards. Wembanyama had 31 and 16 on 14 of 17 shooting. I have no clue why they didn't give him the ball at the end of the game. I will say I felt like his defensive effort, minus the final 5 minutes, was very poor. It looked like he kind of checked out and was expecting the Spurs to win this series, and we didn't make it so easy for them. Luka had negative true shooting, essentially. Granted, he was injured, and that'll be something to monitor. As we've talked about with the Spurs, the key with them is if both Wembanyama and Luka play well, GG's, it's wraps, it's over. But if one of those guys struggles, and in this game it was Luka, they need their role players to step up, and none of their role players were particularly good. Andrew Nembhard and Kajai Stokes has been the featured matchup for me, 2 players who are very similar to each other, and Kajai Stokes has easily been better on both ends of the floor throughout this series. Well, the Spurs got lucky with Luka. His sprained ankle really is not going to be a big deal, and he should actually be fully healthy for Game 6. I figured this would linger for the rest of the series, maybe longer, so San Antonio really caught a break. Jonathan Kuminga, of course, strained his right hip 1 game after he strained his left hip. I think the right hip injury isn't as bad as the left hip, but regardless, he has no working legs. How is he supposed to move? So we are not going to play him here in Game 6. Roman Loggins-Burrell still in the lineup. I was hoping he would be better, but his speed and athleticism ratings haven't really changed from Game 5, which means he's going to have a hard time going to the basket. Kajai Stokes is going to need to probably play the whole game again, and Jabari Springer will need to play nearly the whole game. Jacoby Walter and Leonard Miller are really the only serviceable bench players left, but they're now in the starting lineup. So with our depth depleted, we're going to have to throw out Dylan Brooks and Austin Reeves, even if it's for a short amount of time. And the X factor, I feel like, is probably a guy who we haven't even named yet. We need D'Angelo Russell to be better. He has shot roughly 30% from the field in the postseason. If he can hit his shots, that would be a big deal, because right now it almost feels like we have a 5-man rotation and we're using these 4 bench guys sparingly. But if D'Lo can play well, that'll give us a lot more freedom with how we can utilize our guards. Maybe we can give Kajai Stokes a few minutes of rest. Maybe we can take it easy for a guy like Roman Loggins-Burl, whose injury clearly impacted him in the last game. Springer wins the tip. We are underway. This place is rocking. With how much grit and effort and toughness the Warriors showed on the road in their comeback Game 5, you best believe that Chase Center is going to be rocking for Game 6. And these fans did not disappoint as Wembanyama gets the mismatch with Walter and is able to hit the fadeaway. That'll make it 2-0. Here's Kajai Stokes. Sidestep, 3-ball, buries the hatchet. We're going to need Kajai Stokes to be the engine again, and we're going to need Jabari Springer to be great offensively as well. Springer's going to have to give us more on defense, though, as Leonard Miller rejects it. Goes right to Luka, who misses the 3. And here comes Golden State. We're going to try to take things slow. I know this is a fast break possession, as Stokes is blocked by Davis. I wanted to take advantage of outnumbering the Spurs in transition, but that's not really how we're going to run things today. Wembanyama buries the 3, San Antonio back ahead. The key for us, though, is to try to go slow so we can keep everyone energized. Stokes pokes it away. Walter has the steal. And again, since we're moving fast, we're going to try to move up the floor quickly in transition. Loggins-Burl gets the screen. Wide open 3 is off the mark. We've got to hit our open 3s when we get them. Loggins-Burl in particular, since the rest of his offensive game is severely hindered. Doncic, 3-throw line jumper is good. And that'll make it 7-4. Stokes misses the layup. Good defense by Nembhard as Wembanyama quickly swoops in, runs the floor, pull-up 3 is good. I mean, how are you supposed to stop that? He's the tallest guy on the floor. He can grab every rebound. And then to run the floor, hit the 3 on the dribble, like, there's nothing you can do. There's a nice play, though, by Springer with the contest and the rebound. He'll look to run the floor for Golden State. Inside, up for the layup, over Chance Palermo. Good play there by Jabari Springer. Almost as impressive as Wembanyama's play. The difference is he's not 7'4". Springer's got to get back quicker on defense. He was able to match up with Wemby late, but he needed to hurry a little bit quicker. Stokes off the dribble. Moving mid-ranger is good. He's got 5. Certainly not a great start for us, though, offensively. Through 4 minutes, we only have 8 points. Outside of Springer and Stokes, we've gotten pretty much nothing from everyone else. As Wembanyama is in for the layup over Jabari Springer. Springer's defense on Wemby has struggled as of recent because he has been asked to do so much offensively. Good layup by Loggins-Burl. But we've put so much on Springer's plate on this end of the floor, it has hindered his defense. Things would be so much easier if Evan Mobley was just healthy. As Kajai Stokes hits the 3, look at the scoreboard. Lead is within 1. All of a sudden, the offense is starting to get rolling. Luka pull-up 3 is good. Quick response for the Spurs, and Golden State calls timeout. Right back up by 6. D'Angelo Russell with it. Trying to get Luka on an island. Drives to the right side. Layup with the left hand is good. He's the X factor. We need him to play well. It'll make things so much easier for everyone else. 4-point game. Stokes on the drive. Gets it to Springer. Mid-ranger will rattle in. Shooter's touch. Lead is within 2. And that made shot by Jabari Springer, which was assisted by Stokes, is actually our team's first assist of the game. Luka Doncic in with the slam. He gets by Leonard Miller and is there with the jam. 25-21. Springer is blocked at the rim. I think that was Andrew Nembhard who got a hand on that one, and here comes San Antonio. Wemby, Wilson, layup is good. Jalen Wilson makes it a 6-point lead again for the Spurs. Springer for 3, heavily contested. Probably should not have shot that shot. And here comes San Antonio. Wembanyama, tightly guarded. But with his size, does it really matter? Throws the layup up and in. He has been unguardable in the first quarter, and he's been great defensively. Maybe his best quarter of the series so far. D'Lo around the screen. Good look from 3. It is off the mark, and the Spurs are going to look to up the lead, possibly to double digits here in the first quarter, as Dante Vittori has it for San Antonio. Shot and game clock pretty much even, so you think they're going to try to move kind of slowly. As Jalen Wilson has it, drives in, layup is good. The Spurs up by 10. We needed to start quick, and, well, this is certainly not a quick start. 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. Stokes brings it up for Golden State. Going to look to get some room. Drives left in the corner. D'Lo for 3. Bang! It's good! Big shot to end the first. D'Angelo Russell with 7. We needed him to hit his shots. He's off to a good start. He's averaged only 4 per game through the entirety of the playoffs. So certainly an encouraging first quarter for D'Angelo Russell, but I cannot really say the same for everyone else. It's 31-24, 38% from the field as a team. Outside of Springer, Stokes, and Russell, the rest of the team had 3 points on 20% shooting. As D'Lo's in for the layup, he's got 9 early in the second quarter. As I said, we're going to keep him in there as long as he's playing well. Jabari Springer not in the game. Probably the couple of minutes he's going to sit, much like the last game, as Nembhard gets around the screen, hits the 3. 10-point lead for the Spurs. Here's D'Angelo Russell. Step back, jumper over Jones is good. D'Angelo Russell not missing. So far, he's got 11. Tyus Jones, spin move. Russell tight with him. Layup is good. Nice movement by Tyus Jones. And Golden State's going to call a timeout. 38-30 now. Chance Palermo has it for the Spurs. Palermo leaves Brooks in the dust. We wanted to have Brooks on Palermo there, given that Brooks is our enforcer. Palermo tried to kill one of our players. Dillon Brooks got cooked, though, on that play, as Kajai Stokes hits the 3 for the Warriors. He was up and down in the first quarter, 3 for 7 with 8 points. We certainly need a little more consistency out of him, which his worst quarter of the last game was the first, if we're looking for a positive there. Jabari Springer makes the double-teamed layup. Nice play. 43-35. Loggins-Burl gets it to Nembhard around the screen. His 3 is good. Nembhard went 4 for 16 in the last game. He is shooting it better here in Game 6, as Springer has it snatched away in midair by Victor Wembanyama. What a play. Luka tries to lob it up. He cannot. Goes right into the hands of Vittori, who figures I might as well hand it off to the guy who's 7'4". And from there, the possession ended because there is no way we could have stopped him. Springer on the drive, will not shoot it. He got spooked by Wembanyama off the last possession. Loggins-Burl doubled. Miller in the corner, hits for 3. Leonard Miller has forgotten how to shoot the basketball. It's good to see him getting one in there. Stokes on the drive, he dunks it home. Wemby was behind him. I'm sure he was a little worried as he was going up, so he knew, I've got to get this joint down as quick as possible. And that is exactly what he does. 48-40 now. Loggins-Burl has it. Hands it off for Stokes. What is Luka doing? I don't know what happened there, but Kajai Stokes will take his open jump shot. Lead is within 6 as Palermo snatches the interception. Here comes the Spurs with 3 to go in the first half. Wemby and Austin Reeves. Yeah, that is a recipe for disaster. I'm a little surprised Wemby went for the jump shot there rather than try to get something inside, post up, but he made it. Luka, step back. Stokes goes the wrong direction as Luka Doncic hits the 3. Spurs up by a dozen. They've played well over the last couple of minutes, and they'll keep it going. Wemby with the steal. Palermo, nobody in front of him. Layup no good. Grabs his own miss, and he is fouled hard by Kajai Stokes. We're trying to be extra physical with Chance Palermo. We're trying to remind him what he did to Antoine Salis in Game 3 will not fly. Anthony Davis in for the layup. It is a 14-point lead for the Spurs. We are running out of gas towards the end of the first half. Under a minute to go. Wembanyama scoops it up and over Jabari Springer. 59-45. The Spurs have built a comfortable lead towards the end of the second quarter. Kajai Stokes for 3. That one is off the mark. Wemby comes in for the rebound. Leonard Miller positioned himself perfectly. The problem is he's not 7'4". As Anthony Davis quickly up the floor makes the layup. It is a 16-point game with under 30 seconds to go. This is going downhill fast. Ball is poked away. Walter gets it back. Springer now sends it up for Stokes again. Stokes looks to get by the screen. Gets it over to Jabari Springer. 6 on the shot clock. Reeves in the corner for 3. That one is no good. The Warriors have not been able to buy a bucket over the last couple of minutes. Luka Doncic brings it up. Pull-up 3 is good! The Spurs led by as many as 17 points in Game 5. They're now up by 19. Stokes at the buzzer, no good. And that'll wrap up a disastrous second quarter from Golden State. We are down by 19 points going into halftime. We've got them right where we want, I guess. I mean, if we're able to come back down 17 in 15 minutes, I'd like to think we can come back down by 19 in 20 minutes, but obviously that feels like a pretty unreasonable ask given our struggles today. The offense has been very mediocre, 41%, compared to 58% for the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama has 26 and 7. It has been completely one-sided. It seems like all of the energy that we exerted and we fought with in Game 5 has gone away. And we are hoping for yet another miracle here in Game 6. Screen, Stokes, sidestep. That one is good. Kajai Stokes with 20. 16-point game. Wembanyama with it. That one over Springer, no good. Gets his own miss, and the second chance effort is good. We have 0 offensive rebounds for what it's worth. It's impossible to grab a board over this guy. Loggins-Burrell, nice move. Counted and a foul. Roman Loggins-Burrell was a non-factor in the first half. He only had 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting, so if we can get him going, it would certainly help us a long way. Off the miss, Walter with the rebound. He gets it to Jabari Springer. Springer all the way with the reverse slam. If nothing else, I like that we're showing energy out the gate here in the second half. At least we're not going to quit. 68-53 around the screen. Jacoby Walter. Nothing but net. We're within 12. We've outscored the Spurs by 7 through the first few minutes of the third quarter. Stokes gets it to Loggins-Burrell. Handoff for Walter. What about the shot? Passes it for Loggins-Burrell. Gets a good look around the basket. Layup is good. Nice maneuver by Roman Loggins-Burrell. 70-59. We're continuing to play well early in the third. The defense has looked drastically better. Loggins-Burrell looks to split the defense in the corner. Wide open three. It's good. Springer brings it within 8. Are we really doing this again? We were down by 19 points 5 minutes ago. Now we're only down by 8. Palermo, nice pass. I thought he was going to go up with the shot, but it's Wembanyama who gets the dunk, giving the Spurs a little bit of momentum because Lord knows they could use it. Luka Doncic over D'Angelo Russell, no good, but another offensive rebound and another tip-in for Wemby. Seriously, how do you stop this guy? 74-62, Davis at the free-throw line. That jumper is good. Nice response by the Spurs. We brought the lead within 8. A couple minutes later, they're right back up by 14 points, and we're right back to square one. Loggins-Burrell on the drive. Reverse layup is good. I'm surprised Victor Wembanyama didn't block that one as well. 12-point game. Wemby at the top of the key, guarded tightly by Springer. Around the screen, Chance Palermo for 3. It's a 15-point game. Even though we played well for most of the quarter, we really haven't cut into this lead. Pump fake. Springer all the way. He will just take the layup. He knew Victor Wembanyama was going to yank that thing away. So he decides to catch him off guard a little bit. Luka, spin move over Stokes. It is good. Not a whole lot KJ could have done there. Good defense, just better offense. 15-point game. Nembhard looks to cross over Reeves. That one is good. It's a 17-point lead for San Antonio. Under a minute to go in the third. Leonard Miller, mid-range jumper is off the mark. Wembanyama, the offensive rebound. Here comes San Antonio. Wemby up the floor. Jalen Wilson smothered. And it's good anyway for 3. The Spurs are up by 20. And now we really need a miracle. Stokes, Springer, in for the layup. Good ball movement there by Golden State. 17-10 for Jabari Springer. The Spurs, though, on a 16-6 run, make it 18. Victor Wembanyama in with the two-handed jam. He's got 38 points tonight on absurd shooting efficiency. Stokes inside, lobs it up for Jabari Springer, who dunks it over Victor Wembanyama. If we're going to get momentum, that's got to be the play that catapults things. A big dunk. San Antonio back with it. Inside, Wembanyama with a lob of his own. The reverse makes it a 20-point lead. Golden State will likely get the last shot. Here is KJ. 8 on the clock, looking to get someone open around the screen. Drives to the left. He's doubled, has Austin Reeves. Reeves, mid-ranger, no good, and that'll wrap up the third. We were outscored by 1 in that third quarter, and it's weird because we played so well the first 5 minutes. We brought the lead all the way down from 19 to 8. The offense was playing better, the defense was looking good, and then it went away. And we're down by 20 going into the fourth. And as crazy as our comeback was in the last game, this one feels even more unlikely. I mean, everybody is just running on fumes at this point. So basically, the key to winning this game is, since we're down by 20, we have to outscore them by 2 per minute. Good move there by D'Angelo Russell. So basically, for every minute, we need an extra scoring possession compared to them. It's a pretty steep ask, but it's all we've got as Robert Williams makes the layup. Defense needs to be nearly flawless. Offense needs to make all their tough shots. Wembanyama, full Springer, in for the dunk, and through the first minute, we needed to outscore them by 2. they ended up getting us by 1, which is not good, which means we have even more damage control to do. Stokes misses, tips it for Outeridge, and the rookie, Osborne Outeridge, is there with the putback. 19-point game. Here is Dante Vittori. Gets it to Robert Williams. Pump fake. I don't know why you were faked on Robert Williams from deep. He's got Tyus Jones, who lets it rain from beyond the arc. It is a 22-point lead for San Antonio. With a win, the defending champs are back in the Western Conference Finals. Williams, no looker. Jones in for the layup. We needed to outscore them consistently, minute by minute. We're not doing that. They're outscoring us in the fourth quarter. Now it's really panic time. It's time to start throwing some stuff up, such as that. Good three by Kajai Stokes, 99-77. Victor Wembanyama misses the three. Here comes Golden State. Now the tempo has to change. We've got to move as fast as possible. Springer in with the reverse. He's got 22 and 11. No more slow tempo. No more taking it easy. I know everyone's exhausted, as you can tell by the lack of hustle on the other end. Outeridge did a good job of catching up, but it was too late. 22-point lead with 6 to go for the Spurs. Wemby guarded by Russell. That one is good. Wembanyama's hurt, though. D'Angelo Russell might have given him a little poke right at his hip area. Wemby's going to try to hustle up the floor as D'Angelo Russell will take advantage of the open lane. Victor Wembanyama hurt, though. That is bad news for a Spurs team who's on the verge of getting the Western Conference Finals. And look, a comeback is nearly impossible for us, but if there's any chance we do it, it would be without Victor Wembanyama in the game. Off the miss by Vittori. Springer looks to take it all the way to the cup. Counted and a foul. And one layup for Jabari Springer. It's a 19-point game. So through the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, we outscored them by 1. Now we need to outscore them by 19. And Andrew Nembhard launching up junk and making it is not going to help our case. 106-84. Springer gives Kajai Stokes the screen. He's got room, and Kajai Stokes hits the three. 26, as we've got under 4 minutes to go. Luka Doncic with it, looks to get around the screen. Luka, wide open three, is good. And the Spurs are probably a shot or two away from icing this game for good. Stokes gets the screen, looking for the pick and pop. Springer lets it fly. That one is good. 28-11 for Jabari Springer. 101-90, under 3 minutes to go. Loggins-Burl gets it to Stokes. Around the Miller screen, and Kajai Stokes hits the three. And again, this team isn't going to quit, even if it looks like we're out of it. Davis, jumper over Leonard. Miller is good, and we're going to call our timeout. What type of magic does Steve Kerr create over these next 2.5 minutes? I know the Pope is a White Sox fan, and he's blessing us in that series. Can he be a Warriors fan as well, perhaps, as Roman Loggins-Burl makes the floater sweet kiss off the glass? Luka Doncic, that one is no good with under 2 minutes to go. Here come the Warriors. Jabari Springer brings it up, splits the defense, and he is going to miss the layup. Not ideal. Notice that Victor Wembanyama is in the game. Why are they putting him back in here? The Spurs have this game locked up. There's no reason to play him. Luka Doncic, heavily contested jumper is good. The lead sits at 20. And I think it's pretty fair to say that Golden State's magic has ran out. The clock has struck midnight, or at least it's 11:59 for Cinderella, as Jabari Springer connects on the lob from Jacoby Walter with 1.5 minutes to go. That's a 30-piece for Springer. Palermo for three, got a little shove from Walter. The Warriors have been physical late in this fourth quarter. The mini punch to the hip from D'Lo, the shove from Walter. Obviously, the Spurs have been physical with us, and we are not taking it well here at the end of the series. With the miss by Kajai Stokes, here comes San Antonio. Miller tries to steal it away from Doncic as we draw the charge. Look at that, heads-up hoops from Roman Loggins-Burl. Now with 7 seconds to go, Jabari Springer at the line makes a free throw. We will hit the triple-digit points mark. He's got 32. As Tyus Jones dribbles it out, and this game is over. The defending champion San Antonio Spurs are headed back to the Western Conference Finals as they win Game 6, 115-101, and the journey is over here in Season 4 for the Golden State Warriors. This one certainly hurts, but after the sting of this loss, the first thing I felt with this team is proud. I mean, coming into this series, we were a heavy underdog. We weren't supposed to win. Evan Mobley got to the series hurt, and then Antoine Saliz and Jonathan Kuminga and Roman Loggins-Burl all joined him. That didn't matter. These guys fought until the very end. Game 5, it looked like we were dead in the water, down by 17 points in the second half. Come back and win it. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it again in Game 6, and I think that's because here in Game 5, we used all of our energy. We were out of gas, and there was nothing left in the tank. And unfortunately, as much as it kind of sucks to say, I think we lost this series before Game 1 was even tipped. The Evan Mobley injury in Game 5 of the first round was our undoing. Jabari Springer is obviously a good player, but he's not supposed to be our rim protector. That's Evan Mobley. The whole reason why we traded for him was so he could match up with Victor Wembanyama to give Springer an easier time defensively and more room for him to be productive on offense. Now, obviously, he was great offensively, 36 minutes, 32 and 14 on great efficiency again. What a playoff run for Jabari Springer, and the same can be said for Kajai Stokes. Game 5, he sat 4 seconds. Game 6, he sat for 1 second. Was not overly efficient, 12 of 31, but again, he was kind of gassed. He really shot the 3-ball well, though, throughout the playoff. 31, 31, 36 points over the last 3 games, shooting 85 shots from the field. That is too many. But with St. Lisa's injury and Roman Loggins-Burl getting dinged up, he was our only shot-creating guard left. Jabari Springer really elevated his game. 17.5 points, 14 rebounds, and nearly 4 assists. One of the most impressive rebounding stretches I've ever seen. Watching him grab boards in the playoffs, it looked like he was his father. Darius Springer, an all-time great rebounder. Springer grabbed at least 9 boards in all 11 of our playoff games, not to mention consistent passing. Minus the scoring, these stat lines look a lot like his dad's. And obviously, he's not the shot maker that Darius Springer is. I don't think he's as good defensively either. But pretty much everything else, he's got his dad's game. I mean, there's so many similarities between the two of them. And with how well we were able to build around Darius Springer in Portland, that makes me think we can really get something here with Jabari Springer, not just as a starter for this team, but as one of the guys. Otherwise, everybody else was kind of mediocre, and then Victor Wembanyama did this, 44 points, 80% for the field. Luka Doncic was not great, but he didn't need to be great. And as I mentioned, Jabari Springer really struggled defensively over the last 2 games because we needed him so much on offense. We couldn't have him play elite defense because he was responsible for other things. And the Springer-Mobley frontcourt pairing is supposed to get it to where there's less on Springer's plate defensively, and he'll be able to play like this offensively without allowing the opposing big to make 80% of his shots. So once everyone's healthy next year, I think this team is really going to fit better, and we're going to see what this team is made of, especially with another year of playoff experience. Let's see what happens here in Game 7 between the Lakers and the Spurs. Who would have thought the Lakers, who were a double-digit seed and not even in the play-in for most of the year, well, their Cinderella comes to an end as well. They get blasted by Minnesota. 49 for Rob Dillingham. My God, was he impressive. Anthony Edwards as well with 36. They're lucky they didn't play us with the backcourt defense of Loggins-Burl and Kajai Stokes that we would have thrown at them. Karl Anthony Towns got injured, though. That'll be something to monitor. 38 for Shavonte Fitzgerald. This Lakers team has a lot to be excited about, though. They completely revamped their team during the trade deadline, adding Devin Carter, Zion Williamson, Devin Vassell, Zach Edey, Sadiq Bey. They seem to have something good with Shavonte Fitzgerald, and assuming they re-sign Zion Williamson and Devin Carter, who are both going to be priorities, they're going to be a threat in the Western Conference going forward. So the 2 most reigning champions will face off against each other in the Western Conference Finals. What did the Spurs and Wolves title runs have in common? They both eliminated us in the playoffs during their finals season, so I guess that bodes well for San Antonio, although both teams go into this series banged up. Karl Anthony Towns pulled his calf in Game 7. Victor Wembanyama strained his hip in Game 6, so that'll be something to monitor. And then out east, Brooklyn and Detroit. You guys know who I'll be rooting for to win the finals. But to be honest, with the dogfight that San Antonio and Minnesota's been put through, and with Detroit only being a 6 seed, I look at the Brooklyn Nets as the favorite. They have cakewalked through the playoffs. They've only lost 1 game so far. Joel Embiid's finally made it out of the second round. Devin Booker obviously has finals experience. If I were to pick now, I would pick Brooklyn to win the whole thing. But we're going to see what happens in the next episode. We're going to start the offseason as well. Go through the draft lottery, go through the draft preview, set up a pivotal offseason for us as we look to get what I would consider to be either possibly the finishing pieces to this core Or maybe get a true number one option. We've seen pretty much everybody on this team be the number one option at different times, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But do we trust these guys to consistently be the number one? It's certainly a fair question to ask as we get into the offseason. Hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless, though, despite the unfortunate result of the game. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.